Lyman and RNC spokesperson Elizabeth Pipko. Thank you both for coming on. Brianna, to you first. I'm not sure if you're a football fan, but I want to play this soundbite from Senator Eric Schmidt about the backup quarterback role. Watch.
It's like the backup quarterback, right? The backup quarterback seems like might be a better option until the backup quarterback gets into the game, and then you realize why it's the backup quarterback. So we're about ready to enter that phase, I think, where Kamala Harris steps onto the field. We'll see, though. Maybe she'll avoid it for another month.
I mean, what he's saying is Kamala Harris is the backup quarterback. Her numbers are good, but she's the backup quarterback, and everybody wants the backup until the backup fails.
Yeah, Trace, it's a bad day to be a football fan because I'm not a football fan. I wish this was a baseball analogy. With Kamala Harris, here's the problem. Democrats have spent the past 4 years running defense for Joe Biden. And so now that Kamala Harris is being scrutinized for not being transparent with the public, they're trying to cover their tracks for her. And the rest of that interview, I'd watched it. John Berman basically said, we want to interview Kamala Harris. We wish it would happen. If they really wanted to interview Kamala, they could. The same way that when the Democratic operatives wanted to oust Joe Biden, the Democratic media suddenly became aware that he was cognitively declining, and they had wall-to-wall coverage. Democratic media can focus on Kamala not being transparent and put that public pressure on her so that she's forced to answer to the public.
Yeah, very true. No football analogies for you, Elizabeth Pipko. Just the National Review and Jim Garrity says, quoting here, the question the media should be asking Kamala Harris, what caused you to change your mind on these issues? Did you learn more that convinced you that your old positions were wrong, unfeasible, and ill-informed? What guarantee does any voter have that your new positions won't be as quickly and quietly abandoned as the old ones once you're elected? I mean, it's a good ask, Elizabeth Pipko.
It is. It's a very normal ask. Trace, I'm going to start keeping track of how many times you and I speak before Kamala Harris decides to speak to the American people, right? I think we're at 3 or 4 already. Yeah. Look, this is so basic. It's so simple. She can put all of this to bed by just having an interview. And it's not a difficult one. There's countless people she can pick from. She can sit with George Stephanopoulos tomorrow, who is a lot more concerned with her winning the election than having his own unbiased show, let's be honest. She can do that anytime, any place, put all of these concerns to rest and speak to the American people. The problem is she doesn't know what she stands for because she doesn't stand for what she believes, and she stands for what she believes might win in November. And the polling does not match up with anything that she has repeated over and over the years, both in this administration and back in California when she was a federal prosecutor. So the problem for her is that she doesn't know where she stands, and the American people can clearly see that.
And the perfect segue for us, because then versus now, Kamala Harris put this up on the screen. In 2018, we've got to critically re-examine ICE now, strong border security, and, pathway to citizenship. 2019, open to SCOTUS expansion, now doesn't support SCOTUS expansion. 2019, I support a mandatory gun buyback, now not so much. 2016, I'm in favor of banning fracking, now doesn't have to ban fracking. I mean, the flip-flops here, and by the way, don't even get me into the no taxes on tips thing, Brianna, because we could go on and on and on.
Trace, it's the first time she comes out with a policy, and it's not even her own policy, it's someone else's policy. And, the problem here is that she flip-flops because, like Elizabeth said, she doesn't actually want to tell people what her real policy beliefs are. And unfortunately, you go back a few weeks ago, GovTracker magically wiped all of their rating of her as the most liberal senator because it became politically disadvantageous for her. And now what she's trying to do is appear as a moderate and a centrist, but we have the receipts. And her stances in 2018, 2019 were good to win over California. They're not good to win over independent voters. So she has to distance herself from herself.
Yeah, here's the CNN analyst, Harry Enton.
The bottom line is this. If you have any idea, if you're a Kamala Harris fan and you want to rip open the champagne bottle, pop that cork, do not do it. Donald Trump is very much in this race.
Hard to tell the left, Elizabeth Pipko. This race is a long way from being over.
It's not just a long way from being over, it's a long way from even getting started. Kamala Harris just entered into the race, right? We still don't know. I don't know if she knows yet what issues she's running on and where she stands. So I don't think anyone can count this race over. That's certainly not the case. The fact is we haven't had a debate yet. We haven't had a policy being listed yet. Her website is still blank. That is how new she is to this race. And the American people are eagerly awaiting to see this race begin, to see her go up against Donald Trump, not just on the debate stage, but policy for policy, administration for administration. We directly have 4 years of Donald Trump to compare to 4 years of Kamala Harris in this White House. And unfortunately, the facts show the American people are not happy with what we've seen from her and Joe Biden.
Great stuff. Elizabeth Pipko, Brianna Lyman, thank you both. We have brand new examples tonight of